Hello, my name is Sarah Boquin and I am the Chief Executive Officer for Barrio Logan College Institute. Barrio Logan College Institute, also known as BLCI, is an after-school program. We are a nonprofit. We work with students from 3rd grade all the way to 12th grade. With tutoring, we help students get better grades. We also do weekly workshops where they learn about going to college, what it's going to take for them to be competitive college applicants. Again, we can have students with us all the way from 3rd grade all the way to 12th grade, which means 10 years, which is a really long time to really help develop them and help build very strong relationships with these students and their families. Part of our role is really, again, the academic support, teaching them about college, but also providing them resources and access to things they may not normally have had. And one of those is really being a mentor. Mentors are great guides for our students, helping them teach what the school system looks like, teaching them what college will be like. And I'm really happy to say that we've got one of our mentors here, Penny Adler. So thank you, Penny, for being a mentor. And
My pleasure.
We'd love to hear more about your experience.
Thank you very much. So I started mentoring when I have 3 children, and they were at San Diego High School, and when the 3rd one of them went off to college and they all chose to go east, I said, oh, well, now I kind of have an empty nest, and I think it's time for me to think about getting youngsters who are in school and working with them. And so that was like in 1996. That was what, over 20 years ago that I've now been mentoring, though it doesn't seem that long. And so my first mentee was from San Diego High School, but then I learned about BLCI and got acquainted with them, and it seemed like an appropriate place to also mentor. So at that time they selected a young lady for me, and I started with her. And then shortly after that, I live near Preuss. Preuss is a high school, middle high school in the La Jolla area, associated very closely with UCSD. And they had a coordinator, and they definitely were looking for mentors. And so I started with them. One of the things that's similar about the students at those 2 schools, at Preuss and at BLCI, is that their parents have never attended college. So these are youngsters who cannot particularly go to their parents and get a lot of guidance regarding going to college and what you need. So for me, that was nice because I could provide that to them. So let me briefly define mentoring versus tutoring, because there's a big difference. Tutoring, you're really academically dealing with students, which BLCI offers, on subject matter. Mentoring is more providing support to the kids, counseling them when they have issues and concerns, and as you get to know them better, they sometimes will bring up things going on with their families or other students and tell you about them, and sometimes you give them some counsel or advice, guidance to things like, what do you need to go to college? Should you be in this activity? Things like that. Sharing. We share our own personal, I share about my family and what they're doing every week. They share about their siblings and their family and what they're up to. If we travel, we share about that. Educating them about different things, from what's going on current event-wise to other things that are going on, or if they're reading a particular book in high school and I've read it, we might talk about it and I'll find out, what do you really like about it? What do you think about it? Motivating them, really telling them that it's really important that they do well in school to get into a college down the road. Every week, so in terms of what is the time commitment? So time commitment is as little as about an hour a week with these youngsters. As I say, at BLCI, I would come once a week to the BLCI and I meet with them there. I generally, because they enjoy it, bring a little treat, something they enjoy drinking, and then a little treat. And at Preuss, I meet with them during their advisory period once a week and bring a little treat, and we'll sit outside and in a little private area and chat for an hour. So it's as little as I say, an hour a week, and then as time passes, you may decide you're going to do something else with them that takes a little more time. Currently, I actually am mentoring 7 students, Because once you've worked with these kids and gotten involved with the kids, and they graduate from high school, you don't just say bye. You and they feel a commitment to continue your relationship. So currently, two of my students are high school students. One actually is graduating, the other is a senior. Two of them are currently in college, one at San Diego State and one at UCSD. There it's been a little tougher this year. We've had to talk on the phone, find other ways to communicate, but now we're back where I meet them about every 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll either go to coffee or lunch or brunch or something and have a chance to visit. And then three of mine are college graduates. One has gone on and gotten her master's and is employed, and the other one is in Spain, actually. She's graduated from college. She's in Spain tutoring English, and she'll be back this year. And I worked with her. She'll be going to to San Francisco, University of San Francisco, and she's starting a program in counseling there. And another one is working and getting her master's. So that's kind of neat as well. And with those youngsters, as I say, I meet them every maybe month or so. Sometimes we chat on the phone, we text, different ways to keep in touch. I personally like to start with my kids in 9th grade, but as a mentor, some people would prefer to start with them in elementary school and carry them from 2nd grade or 1st grade all the way into high school and really get well acquainted. I start in 9th grade, and as I say, I happen to have one at BLCI and one at Preuss, but you certainly can chat and see if your local high school has a mentoring program. Generally, they select a student for you. You don't just go out and pick somebody, and they learn about you, so they're going to pick somebody that might have some same interest and they think you'll match with. And so that's kind of how it works. And at these schools, there's often somebody there who's that's their job. I know at Preuss, they have a coordinator. The kids come there, they let them know they're interested, then the coordinator has to get permission from the parent to allow mentoring. For the first period of time I stay at the site, and then as we get to know each other better, and sometimes I actually get to know the parents, I then feel more comfortable occasionally taking them to something off-site. Again, as we get to know each other better, let me jump. So also the other thing that's been kind of fun is I have 2 sets of siblings. So one of them I took them all the way through high school, and then they got acquainted with their sibling and said, do you think your sibling would like me to mentor them? And they've said, yeah. So in 2 cases, I have their sibling. It's kind of fun because when they go off to college, I have the opportunity through the sibling to kind of keep track of them, and that's fun. And then when the one comes home, we all go out together. They've had an opportunity sometimes to meet my husband if we've go to a play or something together, or to meet my other youngsters, my 2 kids, my 2 girls, and that's been fun. As I say, with the ones that have graduated, we meet every 3 to 4 weeks, and sometimes text in between. I've also had an opportunity to go to some of their major functions, their quinceañeras, their graduations. If they're doing some special play, something at school, if they're an athlete in a sport, I'll go watch them play. Just really get involved. So for me, it's been a wonderful opportunity. It has enriched my life, and yet I feel like I'm really doing some great things for some of these youngsters. So perhaps you have other thoughts and ideas and questions?
Yes. No, we're really grateful for Penny's time and her dedication to our students. I think that's what makes them successful. I think one thing is how to get involved, how to become a mentor. You know, as Penny mentioned, there is somebody at some of these schools, and of course at BLCI, that can really have that conversation with you if you're interested. We're really looking for folks who are dedicated. As Penny mentioned, it's a lot of time. It's a time commitment to really be having these weekly meetings, and sometimes, you know, the conversations can get very detailed, especially when a student is trying to decide where to go to college, or, you know, maybe as they get older where they're applying for a job. So these are the things that we look for as someone who's really interested in making that time commitment, somebody who's very authentic and genuine in their guidance of the student. We really want somebody who will be honest with them, who will bring resources as well, not so much, but maybe point them in the right direction, and, you know, make sure that they are really fulfilling that need that the student has. We can reach out. You can reach out to the organizations with BLCI. You can email at volunteer@blci.org. But I have one question for Penny before we close this off, which is, what's been the most rewarding experience for you in mentoring?
Well, I think it's just getting to know these youngsters, feeling like I am making a bit of a difference in their lives. It's kind of cute. One set of siblings that I have, these are the two girls who are actually now, one is graduated and working, the other is in graduate school. They've told me a number of times that before they can make major decisions, their parents have told them they have to get the clearance from me. So sometimes you almost feel like, oh my God, am I that important? I'm really, you know, guiding them. That's important. But as I said, the parents generally, unfortunately, have not had an education. They're working, they're doing the best they can, but they rely sometimes on us to really guide the kids because of our backgrounds. And it's both my opportunity to really get to know these youngsters who are great, and watching how they grow, and hopefully in the end watching them get through college and doing what their parents really wish they could have, and now are so pleased and proud of their youngsters. And it's just a great experience. I've not regretted any of it, and I am so thrilled that I've been able to stay in touch with all these kids and watch them grow and work. And one of mine now is engaged, and I've met her spouse, or not her spouse, her fiance and the dog. And so in another, you know, you just grow, and see their lives grow, and it's just a really neat thing. So.
All right. Well, thank you, Penny. Thank you so much for mentoring for BLCI.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to it. She's due to assign me a new student because my last one is graduating and heading off to UCLA, actually. And so, and I had her sibling, that's the one that's in Spain, coming home. So I'm looking forward to my new BLCI student to start meeting them, getting acquainted with them, which will be really fun.
Should be. Thank you.
My pleasure.